let's see how they move the goalposts with this data we're going to present for Mortal Kombat 1, because, you know, despite all the mishaps, Mortal Kombat 1 is a success because it sells millions of copies, and the sales numbers just prove that this game is in a great state and you should not be concerned. That's sarcasm. Please don't think that is... It's me. That's everybody with a hashtag WB sponsorship. What's up? It's your boy Dynasty back again, ruffling some feathers because apparently you can't handle the truth. And the truth is, Mortal Kombat 1 is in a dire state from a casual standpoint, from a competitive standpoint. Dare I say, these are some dark times for the Mortal Kombat franchise. Now, this really shouldn't come as a surprise if you've been watching the last 6 or 7 months of my content. We've been documenting the shit show that is Mortal Kombat 1, from the paid fatalities to the lack of features like, I don't know, a working crossplay, online lobbies. Oh yeah, remember like the player 1 advantage? Oh, the round 1, then the round 2 advantage, then the desync issues. Not to mention the marketing lies. I could go on forever about my displeasures. I say my, a lot of us diehard fans' displeasures when it comes to this game. But regardless, let's stick to the facts here. And the facts are, we should be concerned. Because even from the competitive front, this that came out yesterday is insane. Now, EVO takes place annually every single year. The biggest fighting game event in Las Vegas, the go-to for fighting games. It is the Super Bowl of fighting games. They're playing this shit in an actual stadium these days, arenas. They shared this on their Twitter yesterday, the EVO 2024 early bird registration leaderboard. Essentially, everybody who is registering early, because this takes place in August, we are now in March, early registration so they can prepare the brackets and get everything sorted for the competitive players taking place and fighting in all these different games at EVO. And number 1 on the list of early bird registrations is Street Fighter 6, to no one's surprise. Number 2 is Tekken 8. Number 3 should have been Mortal Kombat 1 if the game was competent and of quality, but instead we get Guilty Gear Strive, then we get Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising at 4. We get Street Fighter 3 Third Strike at the 5th spot. A game that came out in 1999, damn near almost 25 years ago. More people are excited to play this game from 25 years ago than a AAA-backed, multi-million-dollar budgeted game, Mortal Kombat 1. Because Mortal Kombat 1 is in the 7th spot underneath everything we listed, including Under Night and Birth. Number 8 spot, we have the King of Fighters 15. Now, again, this is the early bird registration leaderboard. According to a lot of these quote-unquote WB sponsored people, they like to say things like, well, NetherRealm Studios pro players, they're lazy. They wait until the last minute to register in all these other events. This is the same thing. Oh, maybe that's the case. Maybe come August, more people are playing Mortal Kombat 1 than Street Fighter 6. If you believe that, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. Shout out to George Strait. But people say things like that to defend raw data that's being presented, and it's just mind-boggling. Because this should not be how it is. But at the same time, if you've been watching the status of this game from, you know, how they've treated the casual market, the comp market, the pro scene, it's a shit show. And this is just perfect because it's essentially giving us the state of the game. It's giving us the state of the game. Now, yesterday I came out and said, hey, this game has less people registered than a 25-year-old game in Street Fighter 3. Some people took that as me trying to say that Street Fighter 3 Third Strike was a horrible game, which I was never trying to imply that or say that. It was more of the fact that, you know, I don't care what game is up there. It could be the greatest game of all time, you know, Street Fighter 2. I don't know. Just UMK3, whatever. What's the golden goose of fighting games? Think of it in your head. Does not matter. If it came out 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no game that dropped 6 months ago with the budget that MK1 has had should be below a game that old. I don't care how great it is. If you've been watching it all, it shouldn't come as a shock. And again, this just continues to prove that we've not been lying here on the channel. You're not crazy for thinking this game is lackluster. Given that a lot of the pro scene really was expecting this game to get buffs, not nerfs, as recently as this, you know, hot patch we got just a few days ago with Peacemaker. They just nerfed Peacemaker. And universally, pro players, casual players from all sides here, I was seeing that people really were enjoying Peacemaker's gameplay. Was it a little bit broken and OP? Yeah, it was. 70, 80% combos? Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat 9 days. It's Mortal Kombat X pre-XL patch days. It's broken Mortal Kombat goodness. And that's kind of what we were wanting with the return of combos. And they took that away after, what, a week of early access? If you had the combat pack, you go back and you think of like the Cyrax reset combos from Mortal Kombat 9. That game was unbalanced. It was a mess. Yet that is what was fun at the time. And still, if it had a good netcode, I think people would be playing that even now if you could even purchase the game on Steam. And if the netcode wasn't, like I just said, just trash on these last gen consoles. If it had GGPO, etc. And it sucks because that's kind of what we were expecting for MK1, a lot of us. Just like broken goodness. And instead, they continue to nerf things and just make it a poke fest, which is not really fun. But it is what it is at this point. It's not surprising. It's just really depressing to know that they've pretty much pissed off the pro players who were finally happy to have something new and exciting and fun. Max was raving all about it. Super's been raving about it. Again, from all sides, everybody was really happy with Peacemaker's gameplay unless you were just completely shitting on MK1. If something works, something's fun, gotta balance. And it's just kind of what it is at this point. So, you know, I shared yesterday how this game is getting beat by a game that came out in 1999. It ruffled so many feathers. So many people were saying, this game's great. This game's amazing. You're overreacting. You just love to shit on this game. And it's a shame, because when you realize that the criticism, the critique, the quote-unquote me shitting on this game, when it comes from somebody who has been covering the franchise on YouTube in this space for going on 13, 14 years now, it's because I want this game to be better. It's because I've seen these flaws, because I've seen the writing on the wall with the paid fatalities, the paid $10 skins that are butchered and don't even look like the classic skins from back in the day. It's just kind of funny because, again, this is raw data proving that people are not interested in this game that just came out 6 months ago. And again, this is just simply the early bird registration. This is simply for EVO. Granted, this is the biggest fighting game event on the planet. This is still for competitive players. Not everybody who plays Mortal Kombat is going to compete at EVO. I wasn't born yesterday, I understand that. This game has always been catered to casuals, which is why up until Mortal Kombat maybe X11, it never really was taken too seriously competitively. And that's just kind of been the case forever. You know, Midway days, NetherRealm early days. No one really took these games serious, and this is why. Because you have games at the top like a Street Fighter, like a Tekken, that are legacied, that have a soul. Then you have games like Mortal Kombat 1 that all play differently, get rushed to market to turn a profit, essentially the Call of Duty of fighting games. It just all makes sense. If you've been watching this like I have, this should not surprise you yet. People will continue to tell you this game is fine. It's not fine. Competitive players going to the payouts, $500 for winning third place at a pro scene event, a pro tour event, doesn't even cover your lodging and your plane tickets. WB's given no love to pretty much anybody and everybody who likes MK1. But some people will still eat it up. We got Invasions mode. Who needs a Conquest? We got Kameo. He's not a fully fledged tag team. MK1, Corner Poke Simulator 9000. And this is just where we're at. So I think people will see things like this and maybe open their eyes and see that competitively, this game is dead. Casually, it'll always live on because, yes, I get it. I get it. The cells are always there with Mortal Kombat. They will always be there because of the notoriety of the damn name, 30 years of lineage. You know, this is the franchise that gave us ESRB ratings. This was the franchise that was edgy, pushed the limit. Now they play things safe. Now they're content with a half-ass beta at full price. Who's to blame? Is it NetherRealm? Is it WB? I think it's a bit of both. And yeah, this data right here just goes to show you that again. No matter what anyone says, this game could be doing better. It should be up there at number 3 at least. It's not. Use any excuse you want. Mortal Kombat deserves better. I understand Street Fighter 3 is one of the greatest games of all time. Mortal Kombat 1 should have been one of the greatest games of all time. And the fact that it's not is why we make videos like this and try to call out the bullshit, because we want this game to be better. We want this franchise to be better. I want this game to be better. I don't take fun knowing that something that I've done for 13 years is becoming something that gives me a headache. Especially given the roster and the first 2/3 of the story. And then we get the multiverse ending. I could just go on forever, man. Only get Jean-Claude Van Damme if you get the deluxe edition. Johnny Cage cameo fighter. Oh, it's Janet. Like, we've been lied to, taken advantage of. At what point do you guys wake up and say, demanding a better product doesn't make you a hater? It just makes you real. And I think we live in a world that needs some more fucking real. So if we're keeping it real, this is pathetic. Not surprising. Just disappointing. Mortal Kombat 1 in a nutshell. You get what you deserve. We'll see what happens. Again, this is early bird registration. You could say the cells are great. You could say the Twitch views mean nothing. You could say the biggest content creators barely breaking 20k views on the regular is normal. Let's see how they move this goalpost. Let's see. Let's see. I love you guys, and I love Mortal Kombat. Don't get it twisted. But someone's got to keep their feet to the fire, and I'll do it. Peace.